Well, thank you everybody for coming. My name is Tam Ayers. I'm a field CTO here at Digibee. And today I'd like to share some information that we find insightful from our State of Integration report, and also share some information that helps you build your more modern integration strategy. But before I start, I'd just like to say thank you. On the behalf of myself, the entire Digibee team that's sitting up here, we are so impressed by what the channel company has been able to accomplish here, for all of the engagement and participation that you all have had at all of our sessions, our Magic So, our pre-workshop event. We're just extremely thankful. As our first year coming to MES as a platinum sponsor, we're just very grateful, and we're looking forward to many, many more years of partnership and sponsoring this event. So thank you to all of you. Just to set the stage and provide some context of why we're can be authoritative in this space and sharing some of this information, I'll tell a little bit about who we are. We're a modern integration platform that's handling over 400 million daily transactions and have over 250 enterprise customers. We help customers manage the full life cycle of their integrations, from build to run and monitor. We were founded 5 years ago in Brazil, and this year, after crushing that market from the enterprise perspective, we raised $25 million led by SoftBank, moved our headquarters to Weston, Florida, and are now expanding into the United States. But I'm not here to pitch Digibee to you all today, but we do need to talk. And when I said that, I saw some people stiffen up. Anybody that's married was like, ooh, I've heard that before. About your integration strategy. No one's in trouble. Because integrations are at the core of any great digital experience. They're even more crucial when it comes to delivering personalization, omni-channel approaches, and essentially getting all of your information into the experiences that your customers, your partners, and your employees demand. It's ever more important that an integration strategy is needed. Gartner says by 2025, 75% of organizations of your size will establish integration empowerment teams to support collaborative integrations. A collaborative integration approach, that's going to need governance, oversight, controls, and an enterprise look at how you're addressing your integrations. And the cost to deliver integrations is higher than ever. At over 50% of every dollar spent on digital transformation going towards managing the full life cycle of those integrations. However, that gap of being able to solve the integration divide is an ever-growing task for all of you in this room. There's so many different discrete processes that have to happen in order to be able to build integrations that are scalable and resilient, from connecting to on-prem environments to digital native solutions and everything in between. This is a challenge that keeps a lot of IT leaders up at night. And let's see if this relates to anybody in this room. Let's say that you have multiple systems that you're connecting, maybe bi-directional sync for some of these different solutions or SaaS solutions that you might have, or something on-prem. You're going to abstract out all of that complexity by maybe putting something like an API gateway or some kind of integration bus to make that seem like it's something that is completely handled for all of your clients. But then an on-prem solution that needs to have a gap bridged between it and different protocols flying over. And then another solution by someone outside of IT and shadow IT that now needs to be supported comes in, and you're managing those connections as well. And it looks simple when it's like this on this slide, but really these protocols are going everywhere. Different protocols, SOAP, REST, XML, JDBC, ODI from some of the people we've been talking to today. It's everywhere. And so maybe a partner comes in and they're going to have their own API gateway needs to be able to come in. You're having to deal with more and more connections to be able to deliver these experiences at scale. And then you maybe have something like machine learning or artificial intelligence that comes in and says, hey, or analytics, and says, where do we connect into this mess to be able to get insights that your business leaders need? Well, if you feel that this relates to you, you're not alone. We were able to conduct our State of Enterprise Integrations report with a lot of your peers. Over 1,000 participants in IT leadership. Some are enterprise architects, so there's SVP of IT, of companies that had over 500 employees across multiple verticals. And while most of the information that we saw was in line with our expectation, there were a couple statistics that truly shocked us. So first, integration is important, is what we found, with over 90% rather, saying that it's at least a nice to have an enterprise integration strategy, with almost 60% saying it's an absolute top priority. But what was really surprising is what we found next. Only 7% of these people that were surveyed said that they had successfully adopted an enterprise integration approach, But what's even more impressive is over 50% said that they plan to within the next 12 months. So there's a big gap between where everyone is today and where they need to go. And what's ultimately driving this is a number of different things, from automation to AI, to reducing cost, to improving security posture. We're in an API-driven economy with APIs going everywhere. How are you securing and accessing that data? Maybe it's a cloud migration, or we're able to provide better insights and analytics to the business. Maybe it's upgrading from legacy infrastructure. It's clear from our findings in our report that technology leaders understand the value and the urgency, but they're frustrated by the efforts and the results that they're able to achieve. And what we learned was that there's no plan, but plenty of pain. 98% of our respondents told us that they rebuilt a critical integration to a critical system in the past 12 months. What's even more shocking is almost 48% of them have rebuilt more than 5 just in the past 12 months. Leaders understand that poor integrations have a direct impact, a direct negative impact to their business, whether it's impeding innovation or a decrease in agility, or ineffective practices and wasted resources. These are things that are not going to be tolerated as we move into economic uncertainty and an inflationary environment. But what was most surprising to me out of the entire report, of everybody that we interviewed across that had actually implemented an iPaaS solution similar to ours, but we didn't survey our own people that we've actually deployed this with, said that they encountered downtime when they were actually implementing an iPaaS solution. This was surprising because our company was founded on the principles of scalability, sustainability, and being able to have enterprise integrations at scale and reducing downtime. So you're not really starting off on the right foot if you actually have an outage at the time of implementing. And what's really surprising also is behind that stat, 50% said that there was more downtime than they expected when implementing an iPaaS solution. So it's 2022 and we have Mars rovers that are so clean that it's less than having one poppy seed on the floor of microbes in this entire auditorium. Yet there's an expectation that there's going to be downtime when implementing a solution that's purpose is to avoid it. It's not acceptable and leaders shouldn't accept that. And so you're probably asking yourself, okay, what should I do? This is great information. I might be early on my enterprise integration strategy and approach. I ask you to consider a few core principles. This can be technology agnostic, not just for our platform, but if you're investing in a platform or looking to potentially build an integration solution yourself, I would say that you should look into these 3 principles. The first being cloud native. That does not mean in a public cloud. That means having cloud native solutions that were born in this generation's cloud using container microservices approach, such as Kubernetes, so that you can have a resilient architecture, decoupling that back and building more of a microservices-based approach, and then getting instant availability built in by default. You can help manage that full life cycle. Everybody is so focused on the build, but really, if you look at it, it's only 5% of the total life cycle of building integrations. Focus on the other elements like running and operating, and making so that when you do build, it's faster and you're building less. When you're running, you're not worried about the infrastructure that's behind it. You can simply click and deploy in a few clicks. And then you can operate and see and triage actual integrations as they're actually in production or as you're building, right in the context of your solution and platform. And then finally, low code, so that you can embrace change as the business needs and to be able to quickly adjust and modify integrations and lower the adoption curve. The biggest thing here is there's a huge talent drain when it comes to building out integrations. And as soon as people are starting to move from on-prem environments to the cloud, it's a different skill set for managing those integrations. But if you have a single technology that's able to help bridge that entire gap, now you're not hiring for discrete different purposes. You can leverage the same platform, the same tools, and the same people to be able to build those integrations out. Making it flexible so that it can coexist with your solutions that you already have, and that you can be in a place where you're moving to more of an event-driven architecture, that you're able to adapt to the business as you continue to change. And then finally, security. Needing to have a security across all elements of this and having security at rest, encryption, credential vaults, the works. Now, one more thing. I was gonna say the biggest piece of advice that I would give everybody in here, if you listen to nothing else that I said today, is avoid the most expensive statement in all of software engineering. It will not work out. Because here's the thing. If you're going to build everything that I just mentioned up there, you're going to need to look at a bunch of these different technologies. Now, a ton of salespeople, and I know a few of them, are going to love you if you need to go and buy all this. But then you're managing stringing all this together. So whether you're interested in us or one of our competitors, my biggest piece of advice here is don't reinvent the wheel. Come in and focus on the 20% that makes your business different, and then buy off-the-shelf solutions for the other 80% that doesn't make your business unique. And this can be another one of them. But there's things in here like resilient queue management and scalability built in and observability. All of these things can come packaged with any modern EIPaaS solution that's out there. At Digibee, we're helping customers reduce their time to value, make complex integrations less complex by reusing the code that they already have in a low-code visual assisted way, so that now where there's less code, there's less room for error. But the biggest thing is that if it's as easy as we say it is, taking complex integrations that typically take 10 months and doing them as little as 10 days, your vendor should be able to include the services with it to back that up. And that's what we do. We include all of our delivery with it because if it's as easy as we say it is, why wouldn't we just deliver it with and for you in the context of teaching you how to build? So I'll close by saying, you can have a different angle and approach when it comes to enterprise integrations. You can take the relationship that you have to now, thinking of them as a necessary evil, and moving it into something that is truly a strategic differentiator for you to be able to respond to the business's needs. This is what we call enterprise integrations redesigned. So I thank you all for your time. Come by our booth at 305 and engage with us on the use case that you can't finish until next year, that you need by next month, and we'll prove it to you at no cost by next week. Thank you.